Well, this thing says I'm live. See how long it takes for everybody to see me.
I can see you.
I see Mama Linda, Josie, Teresa Jade, Evan.
Sankey was in here too. Was.
Well, I don't know if he still is or not, though.
Well, you can tell him hi.
Sappy, if you're in here. Teresa Jade's giving some thumbs up. Well, folks, let's see. It's February. It's Lovers Month. February 14th to be coming up. We might do a little something. Sammy, there you are. And then 2 months after that, we'll have our, was it 10th anniversary?
Our 10th anniversary.
Our 10th anniversary. Come April.
Oh, Piggy, how'd you put up with me for 10 years?
Question is, how'd you put up with me? Just proves she would have been a great Marine wife. Because she's put up with an old charhead for the last 10 years plus.
We've been married for 10 years. We've been together for 12, I think.
Yeah. Arlene, I see you popping up in there. Mama Bear said she's going to cut out on hers and make her way over here. We'll see how long that takes her. So, yeah, we got that coming up in April.
In April, yes.
18th,
Yes.
2015.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's on a Friday.
We said our I doeses.
Our anniversary this year is on a Friday. We got married on a Saturday, and our anniversary is on a Friday.
Right? So,
Hey, that groundhog see you shattered today, yo?
according to Shirley, it said it did. She said it lied. I saw Nana 9 Acres on Facebook. She posted one showing the groundhog and saying it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. Except y'all in Kansas. Kansas does its own thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Let's see, David, Arlene, Josie.
Hamburger helper. Ever said he stopped looking. Well, let's see. What else is going on? It's a new month.
Yeah. Start of a new month.
Mama Bear!
Mama Bear, they get feisty on her show.
Yeah?
I don't blame you, Mama Bear.
I don't blame you either.
Sometimes you got to crack that whip.
That's it. Stand up for yourself. Ever said he stopped looking when he hit 80. You ain't 80 yet. Oh, okay. That's better. That sounds more like it. Start looking for what? That is the question. Well, folks, just going to tell you. I was looking at stats the other day. YouTube was showing me that my top 3 ways I get views. One is from the homepage, the YouTube homepage. 2 is from the up next thing they got on there. Yeah, I understand, Mama Bear. Like I said, hard to succeed when there's someone obviously trying hard to make you fail. And sorry, not sorry, but that's just an a-hole. And, you know, somebody can't support what you're doing when they're supposed to be your best friend. I'd start questioning that situation.
She told you. Yep, you did.
Oh, yeah, I heard it. Every effing word. You did good. You can tell that situation that they can feel accomplished now because now everybody knows what an a-hole he is. Well, Mama Bear, there comes a time to let some things go. Whatever you got to do to make that happen, there comes a time to let some things go. Oh, Joe C. popping up here. Well, Joe C., just so you know, there's more to her than just her. But that whole package is lovable, I think. But anyway, having put footprints in, run, laugh out loud. There you go, Mama Linda. Mama Bear, Mama Linda laying down some truth for you right there. Mama Bear, all I can say to that is be looking for ways to change that. Because it ain't no lie for a woman and her little girl to be with a mean drunk. I'm just saying. Now, although I've told y'all my daddy was a good man, in the end, when I was growing up, he could be a mean drunk. Just glad God answered my prayer and got him to get it right in the end. He had to go through a lot, though. Of course, one of the best moves towards that, getting it right in the end, is him and the troll splitting. One of the best things for him. He found somebody that actually loved and wanted him for him. I'll leave that at that. Of course, I'll never forget the look on her face when Daddy started talking about the Jingle Bells thing. Some of y'all may remember that story. Dad told me that, and I looked at it and I said, Dad! I don't need to know that! Like, ew! Some things you just don't need to know. He was telling me that they were having a little fun. And she was having a little fun doing a little, this right here, while singing Jingle Bells. The point where it said Jingle Bells all the way, there was a hair got in the way. And it got pulled in a very sensitive spot. I was like, Dad! I don't need to know that! So anyway,
Hey, Katie.
Katie Spirit.
Katie Spirit, yeah.
Hey, Abbott, I can make it worse on you. Now, don't get me wrong, my stepmom, Carolyn, she was not the best looking thing in the world. She was rather homely. But I saw a beauty in her that taught me the true beauty of a woman. Now, I can show you a picture of my daddy. I'm almost exactly like him, except he's a lot darker than me. Because he always said he was a quarter Cherokee, but he's a full half Cherokee easy. Because I know I'm 25% plus. So he'd have to be 50% easy Cherokee. Because my granddaddy was full blood Cherokee Indian. So daddy would have had to been half, and I would have been a quarter. And allegedly there's some Cherokee on the Trolls side of the family, but I don't necessarily believe that. I think that's just somebody trying to be included. But you never know. I don't know. I wasn't there. Anyhow, but I can take hints and little tidbits of information here and there and kind of put it together. And, Katie Ferret coming in to tease and joke with Mama Linda. Well, you go right ahead and have a blast. And Mama Bear, like I said, you never know what the future may hold. No, it's just a figment of your imagination, Abbott. I'm not even here right now. All right, Mama Bear, you take care and you hit me up anytime you know where. And we still need to figure out that messenger thing. But I do believe you do have my email, and we can talk there. Whatever, we'll figure out something. Even if we got to go to snail mail, we'll figure out something. We love you, Mama Bear. You take care. Excuse me. There's a frog croaking over here somewhere. Ben's over acres, honey. How you doing? Welcome in. Glad to see you. What?
Katie said, doesn't matter what she's watching, she can always hear Piggy in the background.
You watch other stuff and you're imagining what my responses would be, ain't you? Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Means I've had a good impact on you. Anyway, as I was saying, I noticed most of my views come from YouTube homepage, then what up next, and then from notifications. Notifications is third. I just had to wonder how many of the YouTube homepage and up next is from current subscribers or from others. If it's mostly from others, we're all them people that say they love me. I know a lot of y'all do, and I appreciate that. It just makes me wonder how many are actually subs and how many are others. They see me for a couple of minutes, those others, they see me for a couple of minutes and go, oh, God, I can't believe that's on there, and switch it up. Oh, no, Katie Spirit. Mama Linda can give as good as she can take, and she can take as good as she can give. Trust me.
She's a hoot. Everybody's wondering where Mama Linda was last night.
Yeah. Anyway, there was that. That got me thinking on the views. Sometimes I'll get a comment or maybe up to 5 on comments and get a few likes. But then I'll have a whole bunch of views. Yeah, so. Yeah, put that thumbs up on there. We like them thumbs up.
I'm showing 8.
Well, hers may be like mine. I'll put my like in there on video, and that's where it'll stop.
Yeah.
And it may have gobs more thumbs up on there, but I won't see them because it'll stop counting them when I start watching and put a thumbs up on it.
Yeah. That's why I refreshed my page.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not with a frying pan or a butcher knife, Avid. I'd hate to see you with a butcher knife in your hand, because I can't run. But anyway, it just made me wonder how many were subs and how many were other people out there that couldn't believe they stumbled across my video. Going, oh God, what is that? Get that off of there. 9. Well, that's cool. There's people lurking.
I love you too, Mama Linda.
Oh, you know we love you, Mama Linda.
If you hadn't been in here tonight, you was going to be hearing from me. I'd have been checking on you.
Mama Linda likes to go and do things, and then she lets you know when she's back. Everything it does cause me concern because I do get to wondering. I don't know, Katie Spirit, you might. They don't seem to care if you live or if it's a video. They want to put their ads in there. That's making them money by putting them ads in there.
The other thing about it is Piggy's not monetized, so technically he should be having ads.
Technically. But they're going to make money off my old rotten butt anyway. If they can. She drove fast to get here. Oh, Lord of mercy. Oh, it's all about fun, Katie Spirit. Of course, I do have things on my mind that ain't so fun. I'm a little bit lubed up and ready. Because I got into a little bit of a debate with someone on Facebook on someone else's page. And when they got to putting words in my mouth and trying to twist that up, I just went ahead and told them that's not a dialogue. I blocked them. And I'm sure that narcissistic, manipulative, lying piece of crap is going around congratulating himself thinking he shut me down. But he didn't. When a bum came on the scene, I was in there with it. I was in the fight. And I was trashing libtards left and right. One getting out of thousands of comments that they would choose me to try to pick. For some reason thinking I'd be easy pickings. They went away with their tails between their legs. Because I shut them down and put them down. One get down, another one try their luck. They'd find out they weren't ready. They get down, another one come up. Till finally they all got the idea, I ain't the one. And I went through that fight for years. Through all that. And I finally learned when you've got somebody who's bought into the lie, you ain't going to be able to tell them or show them any truth. Sources, show me your sources. Well, you show them your sources, dependable, reliable sources, factual sources showing facts and evidence. Their way out of that was saying, well, that wasn't a reliable source because it was such and such. And every time you'd ask them for their sources, they would put out Snopes, one of the legacy media outlets, things of that nature. People they're getting their lies from. And since they backed those lies, they double down when you show them the truth. Because nobody wants to admit they're wrong. They don't want to think for themselves. They want somebody else to tell them what to think. I think it was Mika off of Joe and Mika. Good morning, Joe, or whoever that is. It got pissed off because people were getting their information from another source. And she's like, how dare they tell them what to think? That's our job. So that was an admission right there that mainstream media thinks it's their job to tell us what to think.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I got a brain, and it's got a BS meter that's as sensitive as my eyeballs. My eyeballs are real freaking sensitive. I picked up a gas leak on a gas heater that they had to take a specialized device for detecting gas leaks, and it was barely able to catch the leak. It did catch it, barely. They'd come in and replaced all the O-rings and everything in the valve system. Everything after they fixed it, I still had trouble with my eyeballs because of it. Now I told Troll, I said, it's still got a leak in it somewhere. It still bothered my eyeballs. And she's like, you sure? Yeah. Duh. Took my glasses off. See? So they got called back out and they used that little device. And the dude doing it said, man, you must have some really sensitive eyeballs because this machine barely picked it up. Well, Katie Spirit, I just love that. I love Off the Wall. Off the Wall, don't care what others think. I know I'm dealing with somebody that's straight up is going to tell me what they think from the get-go, and I ain't going to have to sit there and try to decipher what the code is and what they say. So I just got all kinds of respect for that. But anyway, my brain is just as sensitive to BS as my eyeballs are to a gas leak. They sit there and they change things up. Anyway, that guy I was dealing with yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah.
I guess he thought he was Jim Acosta or something. Still a joke either way you slice it. Because once he went into putting words in my mouth and then trying to twist the conversation up, I knew he was a narcissist and a lying, manipulative a-hole. What he don't know is my responses to him were actually being nice because it was on another friend's page. And I didn't want to disrespect that other friend of mine. Now, that other friend of mine is on the other side of the fence, but I love him nonetheless because he speaks his mind. And you ain't got to wonder what he's thinking. He'll tell you what he's thinking. I can't do nothing but respect that. Unfortunately, he listens to the MSM. So, yeah, that's why he still thinks the way he thinks. He ain't seen it yet, but maybe one day he will. I got hope for him.
And she might be able to tell kind of wow. That's his.
Oh, wow. That's right, Ben's over. Agreeing to disagree. And that friend of mine, it's like I told him, I said, we all want basically the same thing. We just have different ideas about how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing you have to do is take the lens of hate away and look at things logically, realistically, and in truth. When you're listening to somebody else that's telling you lies as the truth, and that's all you know, it's hard to see the actual truth. So, you know, because I mean, goodness gracious. If anybody's ever listened to Camel Toe speak, full speech, you see it's just like George Orwell's 1984. She's telling you a whole lot of words, but she ain't telling you nothing. Well, Katie Spirit, you ain't supposed to break your wrist. I'm sorry you did that, but I hope it gets well soon. Don't worry about the typing. We'll figure it out sooner or later. Yeah. At least now we got somebody that'll be there on the scene when something happens instead of being asleep at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just tell you, Camel Toe and Jill was running that because he sure wasn't. His mind was gone. And that's just the facts of the matter. I don't hate the man, but I know an enemy of my nation when I see it. And that's what that whole party is about. And I can guarantee you, trace all the money back, it's money being paid to them by China that they stole off of us in unfair trade practices. That's eventually going to come out. Mark my words. That will eventually come out. Taiwanese king. It's called Internet Ease, Evan. Some of it I can figure out, some of it I can't, but eventually we'll get it cleared up. Okay, I do not have a clue as to how to pronounce that word. Or is your Werner, Ezra Werner, on a pet messing with my keyboard? That has happened to me. Usually does, bends over. But even when the truth does come out, there's going to be those hardcore that ain't going to believe it because they believe the lie.
And it's just a doubt.
Okay. That's the sad thing. Even when truth comes out, there'll be those people who won't want to believe it because they can't comprehend the truth because they've been turned over to a reprobate mind. And when you've been turned over to a reprobate mind, what that means is God has denied you being able to comprehend the truth because you have rejected the truth. Usually the truth of God. And when you reject the truth of God, you're usually turned over to a reprobate mind. Oh, you gonna have me on TV. But that's usually what happens. You know, and that's why a lot of people don't believe the truth now. It's because they can't see it. They can't comprehend it. Because they've been turned over to that reprobate mind. You know, and that's why a lot of us can see it because we do not reject truth. That's why our BS meters are so good. We haven't rejected truth, so we can see truth, we can comprehend truth, and we're able to think for ourselves, not rely on somebody else to tell us what to think, like Mika wants to be able to do. And yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. And the Bible did tell us that this day would come. There would be people that would not believe truth because they did not like to retain the truth in their minds. So therefore turned over to a reprobate mind. We are living that part of Romans chapter 1, last half of the chapter right now. Yeah, Ben, sadly it would be. All right, Josie, you watch me on TV. See, I made a rhyme. Poet didn't know it. Had me up there loud and proud. It's just like that recent event over the Potomac last couple of days. They're learning more and more about that. The family didn't want the pilot's name released because they needed time to scrub all her social media. You can't find nothing about her online. But the pilot was a woman. But here's the thing. That woman was only part-time flying them things. She used to be an aide to Joe up in the White House. And then at some point started being a part-time helicopter pilot. Didn't have enough hours to actually be qualified to fly where she was flying. You know, you're talking about an area that's one of the hardest places to fly because it's so packed and congested all the time. So now here you have this part-time, not experienced enough person flying a Black Hawk. And I'm sorry, not sorry, but you can tell in the video that Black Hawk was aimed straight at that plane. It was targeted. And to me, a couple of flashes that I saw coming off that helicopter looked like ordnance fire. Don't know that it was, but that's what it looked like to me. It didn't look like a star flash of a running light. It looked like a flame flash from ordnance fire. So now they're wondering what happened to the others that were in there with her. Why weren't they able to correct what was going on? Well, the woman was on a mission for Joe. She was on a suicide mission. She may have already shot the others. Derek!
Hi, Derek.
Derek Powell 1933. Howdy. How we be? Well, I'm not the only one, Mama Linda. Some of the ones I've seen putting that video out there have suggested the same thing. One of them had an experienced Black Hawk crew member on there talking about it too. Somebody who's actually flown a lot of missions in combat on a Black Hawk. He knows what those things can do. Very partly cloudy. I get you. So I suspect we're going to find out a lot more about that situation. Because as they say, something ain't right in Denmark. Because, one, it was flying twice the height it was supposed to be allowed to fly. It was flying straight for that plane. No deviation. Straight line at it. I'm sure you did, Mama Linda. The thing about it is, most of us know Black Hawk is one of the most sophisticated helicopters out there. It can do stuff I wouldn't have thought a helicopter could do. There's no reason why that Black Hawk should have hit that plane. Especially not when it's at a straight line at it and would not deviate. As far as we know, there was no communication with that Black Hawk. Not much. Then, of course, we got the possibility of DEI being at play in the towers because it didn't have enough people in the towers. The one over the helicopters was sent home early. Go figure. Now, here's the one that really takes the cake. This is the one that tells you this was planned. CNN accidentally put the report out 2 hours before it happened. Somebody knows something. This was planned. Who knew what and when did they know it? So either way you slice it, this was not an accident. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Now, while DEI might have had some to do with it, it was already planned. CNN knew about it 2 hours before it happened. That's what takes the cake. Sorry, not sorry. But I mean, 2 plus 2 always equals 4. Anybody tries to tell me it equals 3 or 5, I'm going to say, go on with your delusional self. You ain't got a brain. Well, Derek, as I was pointing out earlier, as I learned from a video from a credible podcaster, the woman that was flying this thing, one, the family didn't want her name released until after they had time to scrub all her social media. Two, CNN knew 2 hours before it happened. They put the report out 2 hours prior to it actually happening.
Yeah, it's listed at 6:30, and it happened at 8:30.
Yeah. And that woman that was flying it was only a part-time flyer.
She only had 500 flight hours.
Which was not enough to be flying in the area that she was flying. But she was also an aide, personal aide to Joe Biden. You talking about MC squared? E equals MC squared? EM, or E, stands for energy. Of course, you know what equals means. MC means matter, C means speed of light, squared. And that's the formula they use to figure out how much energy they'll get out of a particular atom in order to make nuclear power. That was the equation they used to make the nuclear bombs. They could figure out how much devastation they would get by how many atoms of weapons grade plutonium or whatever that other one is, because they knew what the weight of those atoms were. So they'd know how much energy would come out of that each of those atoms, and combined, because you got pounds of this stuff inside of there, so you got a big boom coming. But it's also what they use in nuclear power plants to figure out how much energy they're going to get from a particular atom, and to gain whatever amount of energy. No, I'm no Einstein, I'm no Elon. I just know things that God has taught me over the years. Thing you got to remember about God, He's actually pretty simple. The reason why we can't figure out a lot of things is because we're looking for some complicated gobbledygook when the answer is just so simple. Really. I mean, figure out a forklift. Figure out a backhoe. Imagine where they got that idea from. They sitting there digging. Wait a minute. I might make something that can do that for me like that. Figure out a bulldozer. Mountain goats are something else, Katie Spirit. I mean, they can stand on the side of a mountain on a piece of ledge that you would not recognize as a ledge. It might be an itty bitty outcrop about like that. They sitting there standing on it.
But people actually look at the Hoover Dam. I think over, like you're going toward California, Colorado, California, all that.
Yeah.
There's little ledges on the sides of the dam. You'll see mountain goats standing on them little bitty ledges on that dam.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of it.
And it's just been in the last few years that concrete and that thing finally cured.
Yeah.
I think they said when they built it, it'd probably take like 100 years for all the concrete to finally cure. And that was a few years ago. But no, Derek, I ain't no Einstein. I just know what God's taught me and shown me over the years, and I go with it. I mean, He's shown me how the earth can have four corners, and He has shown me this solar system and beyond without the veil covering it. It was most beautiful, all gold. But through that, He showed me how the earth has four corners. Because we do have four magnetic poles. Those do come into play in what I saw. If you don't understand the four magnetic poles, you got the North Pole, you got the South Pole. But few people recognize that the Bermuda Triangle is the eastern pole, and there's a spot off the west coast, I think, of Australia.
It's called the Sargasso Sea.
Sargasso Sea or something. That is just like the Bermuda Triangle off the coast here. Those are your four poles. And without this veil covering everything, you see all gold. It's like two squares. One is involving the four poles. The other one is where that square fits inside the second square, allowing things to turn the way they turn. It's actually very simple. I hear you, Katie Spirit. I had a moment like that last night. I went outside to do my business. I lost my balance. I wound up having to jump off the porch, land between the two bushes. Almost did not land that jump, which is not good for me in my condition anyway. And then I come around to the stoop and the front steps, and I lost my balance again and fell against the rail on the side of the steps. Then I reached out for the door. I barely caught it before falling. I was just having a rough time.
Yeah, and this was after my live last night. Yeah, after we got back from the store.
Yeah. Of course, I had a little help with that, so I'll just let y'all imagine on that. I was cleansing my way. Yeah, y'all might get the idea. And yeah. But I'm gonna disappear for a minute.
Uh-oh.
She can talk to you, or I can leave it up and she can talk to you. And because wood chips. I'll leave it up, she can talk to you.
You got to do wood chips, okay.
I gotta do the wood chips.
He's always got to do the wood chips. I told him last night when he came back in and told me what happened. I said, yeah, and I would have been mad at myself if something had happened to you because I wouldn't have known, first of all. And there wouldn't have been nothing I could do to help him had something happened to him. Tell you a story. Oh, my Lord. If you was in the live last night, or if you've been on my Facebook page, I did tell a story. Yesterday, February the 1st, was 48 years since my grandmother passed away. She passed away February the 1st, 1977. And the day she passed away was the day my aunt's father was buried. So my aunt and uncle lost two very special people within a 4-day period. Now, my aunt is my mom's sister-in-law, but her dad was a really nice gentleman. His name was Mr. Fitch, and he passed away on January the 30th of 1977, buried on February the 1st. My grandmother passed away February the 1st of 1977, was buried February the 4th. Her birthday was February the 5th. And then in 2010, my mama passed away on February the 7th. Yeah, I got a rough week coming up. So keep me in your prayers, please. And Piggy's back.
They might have seen that. I'd done a little something silly.
Oh. Oh.
Well, I love you too, Mama Linda. Always and forever. You know that from the fact we've told you we'd rather have you than other things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you remember that conversation. Bullwinkle.
Yeah. Well, welcome in, Dale.
Damn! I saw that. Let's just say this. I congratulate you two on your efforts to get healthy. But I just don't know if I could go that route. Them zucchini pizza bites. I commend you on your force of will.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, if you're gonna do something like that, if you like lasagna, do eggplant lasagna.
Well, they wasn't doing lasagna. They were
doing the pizza bites. I know. I saw.
zucchini pizza bites.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're gonna do.
Dale, I'll take your word for it. Me and zucchini don't get along no how.
He's not big on zucchini. He's not big on.
I can't chew it, for one. Its texture doesn't set well with me for tea. But yeah, I'm a fat boy. I'm gonna have some pizza. I'm gonna have some pizza.
He likes the bread.
So that's why I said I commend you on your force of will. Yeah, I've done figured out I ain't gonna die till God says it's my time, because I've done died 3 times. Should have been dead when I had this surgery. Should have been dead no telling how many other times. Tried to take myself out once. God jerked the steering wheel out of my hand and put me back on the road straight so I wouldn't hit that bridge abutment that I had set myself on course to hit at 80 miles an hour. That was the point I said, all right, Lord, I get it. I ain't allowed. There's been other things bad happen to me in life, and I thought, well, maybe I'll finally meet my death on this one. No. He had plans for me there too. And he used me there while I was there. To come out. And there's been other times I thought, well, you know, this is it. No. That first time I died, I was like, I was looking around. I was like a baby. I didn't know where I knew where I was at, but I didn't know where I was at. I didn't know anything about any of this here, this planet, this earth, this life, nothing. I just knew what I saw and felt in front of me and all through me. God's unspeakable love, joy, and peace. Trust me, it is a thing, because his presence was everywhere. And I felt his unspeakable love, joy, and peace through every atom of my being, through every quark of my being. And if you don't know what a quark is, it's one of the tiniest particles inside of an atom. Yeah, I mean, it was just that thorough. You talk about bliss. Then he did whatever it was he had to do in my life and prepared my heart and sent me back. And I cried like a baby. Made my pillow wet. I cried so much when I woke up back here. Because while I didn't remember any of this there, I remembered there when I came back here. And trust me, to be knocked back out of that, so you still got more to do, that was rough. That's why I tell people, don't ask to be able to experience that unless it is your time. Because unless you're as strong as I'll get out here and a whole lot of help from God, you won't last long. I've told Elaine, I love you, but if I get that call, I'm gone. Because when my time does come, I ain't going to be looking back. Of course, I wasn't looking back then. But I was awestruck by all that I saw before me and all that I felt and everything. I don't know if I heard anything on that first trip because my mind was too full of what I was feeling and what I was seeing. Walking down the lane with angels lining that lane and more angels flying in to line that lane. And a dome of light, big, huge dome of light far ahead of me. You know, there's been times I've cried because of that memory. It's not as strongly, but I can still feel what I felt. The folks talk about wishing they could experience that just a little bit one time. No, you don't. Trust me. No, you don't. Because I was there, folks. I was there. And that's why I know I'm a warrior of and for God, because He's not done with me yet. That first time was a respite. He was doing some things in my life He couldn't do with me living and breathing. He cut some ties that could only be cut with me being dead. I was dead long enough to have gone cold. My brain should have been wrecked for lack of oxygen. I got that little knot right here on my xiphoid complex, little piece of cartilage down below your rib cage in the center. It used to be nice and flat. Now it's just a little knot. For that to have happened, my heart had to have exploded. But yet here I am, my heart beats. I can't prove it with no doctor's visits or hospital visits or having been taken to the hospital. The person that was here with me at the time helped cause that situation to come about and had not called 911. I caught her coming out the bathroom, having made herself up, getting ready for the boo-hoo game. She made no calls. That woman didn't. So I've got nothing medically to prove it to you, but I've got that little knot right there that should be flat. So that means God would have had to have repaired an exploded heart. I wasn't just dead and cold. I was dead and warm and then dead and cold. I was gone that long. God used that time to cut some ties that could only be cut that way. There ain't no telling what else He did in my life with that. But it takes a extremely strong person to experience what I did. And I'll tell you, through this surgery, I learned I don't have any strength. Only God does.
See it.
That's what gets me through. It's His strength, not my own. So, without being strong here to begin with, and 99% God's strength, you won't survive having gone through that situation and having to come back to here. Bigger than beyond outdoors.
Hello and welcome in.
That might be part of it, Derek. And albeit I'm small, God has me reaching those that He would have me reach. Just as in every situation I've been in my life. Like I say, a reason, a season, and was
Reason, a season, a lifetime.
reason, a season, a lifetime. Well, I got my lifetime right here. I got a lifetime with a lot of y'all out there. There's been a lot of things in my life. It's been a reason and a season. Well, Katie Spirit, the all is God.
Yep.
And if that's what you saw, then you were blessed indeed. I've never gotten to see Him directly. Now, I have been called up in the Spirit and stood in the shadow of His reflection, and I don't know how to explain it any better than that. Okay, well, you didn't see God then. You saw, like me, you saw a minuscule part. Yeah, there's a woman used to write books about ancient Indians. And the ancient Indians believed in the one spirit. And it was a great spiral. Someone could come out of it at any point in time. Katie Spirit, yeah, I say just a peek because this is why I say this. When God called me up in the Spirit, standing in the shadow of His reflection, and trust me, my knees were buckling during this time, even in the Spirit. Because the glory of God is so great. Had I actually been in the throne room and in the presence of God Himself, like John was, I would have passed out just like John did in the Spirit. Because just the shadow of His reflection had my knees buckling real bad. And what He did in that moment was showed me a artist easel with a blank page with what looked like a haphazard brushstroke against it. That haphazard brushstroke was a representation of what we see before us, what we call the universe. To God, it was just a haphazard stroke of the brush across an empty canvas. The masterpiece was on the next page. Oh, I get you, Katie. I get you. When you're in that state, you're in the Spirit. There is no physical as we know it. There is a physical to it, but it's spiritual. It's energy. In essence, we are sentient energy. And it's all up here. When it talks about guarding your heart, this is what it's talking about. Because that's where who you are actually resides. The brain is just a huge CPU by which our spirit is able to communicate with the body and it functions the way it's supposed to function. The heart has a separate nodule on it. It's like a time ticker. That's for the running of the body. That's two separate things. One is spirit, one is flesh. That's why we're supposed to subdue the flesh. This is our vehicle that we use to drive along this roadway we call life. Now, when he showed me that little haphazard brushstroke, he was basically having called me up on the carpet, so to speak, because I'd got a little puffed up thinking I knew a little something because he showed me E equals MC squared. He showed me what it meant. He showed me what it meant to all of creation. Well, I thought I was something for knowing that. So when he was showing me that brushstroke, he showed me I didn't know jack crap yet. So for all I do know, I still don't know jack. So some of y'all may feel like y'all learned something from me. Learn this. You don't know jack yet. Some of y'all are impressed by the things I do know. I don't know jack yet. God showed me that. Of all the things that he's shown me, and he's shown me many marvelous things. That right there was the most poignant of all. Because he's let me know that for all he has shown me, I still don't know jack. So, with that said, Dale, you going live? Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay. Well, folks, y'all get ready to go see Dale live, see what his devotional was going to be about this week. I'm going to try to be there. I think I'm going to be able to be there and everything. And I'm going to let y'all go and think about it. Piggy loves you.